A committee tasked with advising the Quebec government on gender identity issues has made a long list of recommendations, including adding gender-neutral private bathrooms to schools, the creation of mixed-gender sports teams, and having sex-led classes make a distinction between sex and gender. Reaction to the committee's 280-page report started even before it was presented.
Je pense que c'est nous autres qui allons payer. Je pense que c'est nous autres qui allons payer. Puis c'est nos droits qui sont salés, c'est pas les vôtres.
Members of advocacy group Transfeminists rallied outside the room where the report was to be presented to journalists, delaying the presentation. The protesters said decisions about their own rights were being made without them. From the moment it was established in 2023, the special committee, made up of a nurse, a doctor, and lawyer, was criticized for lacking trans and non-binary representation. Once the committee's presentation began, its president said the goal was to flesh out an accurate portrait of the reality in Quebec, including a look at policies when it comes to gender identity and their impact on society as a whole.
Pour bien protéger à long terme les droits et les intérêts des personnes trans, il nous est apparu aussi nécessaire de bâtir des ponts avec le reste de la société.
The committee also recommended keeping the minimum age to start hormone therapy without parental consent at 14.
I'm tentatively cautious about the committee's report.
This PhD candidate, who studies the political representation of trans and non-binary people, says he appreciates the recommendation for the government to collect more information about trans people and their access to healthcare.
Very happy to see the nuance that the committee put towards the report. Certainly, I think we can always nitpick the suggestions, but overall, I think that it did emphasize the need to recognize the discrimination trans people face and how to better integrate trans people into society.
But the committee's findings are also prompting criticism.
This report is really, and I would say steeped in misogyny. When they are talking about prison, about sports, they are not talking about the trans community in general. They are referring mainly to trans women and trans girls.
The GO specifically singled out a recommendation to let some shelters refuse service to trans people if they thought it wouldn't be favorable for its clientele. The committee says funding organizations that already work with trans people would be a better solution.
It cannot be an excuse, I think, for other shelters to stop accepting trans people.
Now, how binding are these recommendations? A spokesperson for the Quebec Family Ministers said the committee's suggestions are not formal recommendations, but rather areas to explore, and the government will study their reports.